hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 57 of my 2025 bodybuilding prep series. My name is Zach, and first things first, we've been in a fat loss phase here this is the 5th week now. How is it going? It's going well, actually. I finally broke through that plateau I had going on. I didn't decrease my calories anymore, so I think maybe it might have just been my activity level. On my most recent rest day, I went out and took like a nice long walk instead of doing some cardio. And we've been moving around. We've been getting out and about more, so maybe that's it. But this morning I was 175. And when I started this fat loss phase, I was like 182, 183, but I think I was probably really closer to like 178 once I got like a week into it and like glycogen was starting to get depleted and stuff. So I would say realistically, I've probably lost 2 to 3 pounds of body fat so far, which is great. I mean, that's phenomenal. That's about on track for what I was trying to do. Before I get too much further into updates about the diet, oh yes, and I almost forgot, we got a little homie here today. Finley, say hi. Say hi to everybody. You really cute pup. Before we get any further, I wanted to go ahead and talk about the actual session. So I've been playing around, not really playing around, just situations have dictated lifting at different times of the day and with varying levels of food intake prior to the lifting session. And I found that working out, like lifting early in the morning, which every now and then I do just out of convenience, it just makes the strategy of the whole day go a little bit easier. It kind of sucks a little bit. It kind of blows. The pumps are just not really there. Energy's okay. I just had a full night's rest, and I at least have caffeine before I lift. I usually take pre-workout, but that's another thing is that when usually I'll have like a piece of fruit or something. If I just have that, and then I go straight into a workout, man, my stomach does not feel good. So I'm thinking for me, and you guys should play around with this too, really for any kind of exercise, try out different times of the day and then different levels of fedness, which is probably not a word, but basically how many meals have you put in you, how many carbs and fats, and proteins obviously are important, but especially carbs and fats for like energy levels for lifting. Test it out, see what works for you. I think for me, like having a full breakfast and then getting in pre-workout and getting out there, pumps are way better, feels much better. And dude, this session was crazy. This leg day, you can see in the footage, the wind was nuts, man. It was actually like we went out and about, went driving around, hanging out with my wife, and it was like, it looked like the apocalypse was happening. There was like just dust clouds everywhere. It looked like fog, but it was actually just dust. And a lot of that is because in the area we live in, and then the area we were hanging out in, there's a lot of like construction going on, a lot of new building projects, and so that all that broken ground and stuff like that, it was nuts. But yes, really liking the later sessions, especially having a little bit of food in me, a little bit better energy, so really jamming on that. Now, let's talk about the leg day. We just saw the exercises there. So sumo deadlifts are still awesome. Despite my shins looking like I enjoy self-flagellation or something, I think it's just the bar placement and the bar path. The way that I'm doing it provides the best tension for my hamstrings, hips, and glutes. But that bar path is also very close to my shins and my knees, and so I keep on scraping skin off. Even if I wear like long pants and stuff, it just gets dinged up. But it is what it is, it'll heal. It's just little scritches, but it's kind of annoying. Now, Let's see. Yeah, reverse Nordics with the shoes off combined with that finishing exercise of goblet squats is badass, man. My quads, even right now, leg day was, let's see, I did the pull day this morning. So 2 days ago, you know what I mean? And I don't have that many calories. My body can't do that much building. But my quads are still sore, man. That combination of exercises, those deadlifts, to the Nordics, to the goblets, it's sick, man. I'm probably gonna like save this leg day to use in the future because I absolutely love it. It's like one of the first. The only downside is there's no back squat. I love doing back squats, which I know it just sounds insane. A lot of people hate back squat, but I freaking love high bar back squat. So push day, which we've moved on to here, it's feeling really great. Very limited joint pain. Shoulders are good, elbows are good. Wrists, every now and then on that incline bench, it's still a little funky, but nothing near, like it doesn't actually hurt. It just sometimes feels a little wonky. But other than that, very nice. That incline bench is still delivering like immediate chest pumps, which is pretty cool. And then those dumbbell overhead presses that we just saw have been really, I think, like I mentioned before, pre-fatiguing that anterior deltoid, the front shoulder muscle, is really benefiting me when I move to the overhead press. It's meaning that the side delts are having to take over a lot and provide the force to push the weight up. So those two exercises are wonderful. Overhead tricep extensions, we talked about it before. They're getting a little bit stale, but my triceps are sore. Ooh, that's good, man. Got some it's a blueberry tea with some Splenda. I don't know why in the past I forgot about Splenda. It's probably because I wasn't dieting like this, but dude, Splenda's a game changer. Put it in oats, put it in, tea or whatever. It's awesome. But yeah, tricep extensions, they're gonna go away next meso. But I will say, even though they're so stale, having switched to doing more of like a late morning, early afternoon workout, my performance got way better. It's been much better. I just feel more energetic, feel more powerful. So like I said, man, try it out. Play with the times a little bit. Some people love getting out there like super duper early in the morning. Me, not so much. And then of course, finishing off with the good old deficit push-ups there. Those are honestly just kind of fun to do, and it's like a great stretch, and it functions in the same way that goblet squat does, where I can really feel what got destroyed. So it's also a good exercise for some biofeedback to tell me like what I need to change, what I need to adjust. So yeah, push day and leg day are feeling fantastic. Now there was one more thing while we're doing our calf raises here. What is it? How many reps did I do on this? 25 reps and 23 reps with the 95-pound bar, dude. These burn like nothing else, and the calves are looking pretty good. Yeah, they're getting there. But I did want to mention one of the big things I've learned, and it's going to be in that upcoming video about fat loss. Some tips about fat loss is feeding times, man. I really struggled, like the first 3 weeks of this cut, I really struggled with feeding times. I was like not eating soon enough, and you see how I taught that fan a lesson right there. Don't mess with me, little box fan. But I was like not eating soon enough after working out, and then being super irritable, like in a bad mood. You guys know, hangry. I was getting hangry all the time, being a jerk to people around me, you know what I mean? And then feeling guilty about it. It's just bad, man. Just avoid that. So it's become critical for me to figure out the feeding times, and there's two main reasons. So the first one is muscle protein synthesis, right? That's the biggest one. You want to maintain or grow muscle. You want to space out your protein feedings. You don't have to, because your body does if you don't have any protein for 12 hours, your body is going to be super sensitive to proteins coming in through your GI tract. So it's not totally a wash. I think there is still some benefit, and there's some literature out there pointing to a benefit of using like 4 to 5 higher protein meals spread out throughout the day. Now, as far as like results go, I can't really speak too much on that, but for like my mental health and my mental well-being and my personal relationships with family and friends, I have to spread them out like that. I have to eat strategically to make sure I'm going to be able to function and perform for the other people in my life. This isn't all just about me. So I have to be able to perform for everyone else out there too, not just in these workouts. So it's a big deal when you're dieting, man. And especially if it's making you feel like crap all the time, the odds of you slipping up and eating a bunch of junk or something is much higher. So it's become very important to me. Now that I've talked about that, this pull day here, curls are great. They're freaking gnarly, and I've found that my RIR estimates are pretty much right on, because the ones today, and this is this session you guys are watching here, this legs push pull, it's considered a microcycle, which is legs push pull rest day. Those 4 days, microcycle. So it's the difference between 2 RIR and 1 RIR on those curls. It was like, the last time I was like, I could probably do 2 more. This time I'm like, yeah, I probably could only do 1 more with the correct form. Now, speaking of which, pull-ups that we just saw, those are feeling great, blowing up my lats. And because the cues, like I'm trying to keep everything super tight and control the eccentric, and I'm trying not to lever out my body too much. Like when I'm pulling up, I'm trying to go straight up instead of letting my feet come forward and pulling up. And it's mostly just to target the lats a little more. I'm pre-fatiguing the lats, and that allows me on these dumbbell rows to really isolate the upper back and the traps and stuff like that. And I also added in, you couldn't really tell because it was actually more or less a full rep, but I'm adding in some long length partials on those chest supported dumbbell rows. So that looks like basically, like I do, what was my last set? My last set was 9 reps. So once I do the 9th, I'm like, yo, I'm not going to be able to get another full rep here. So what I'm doing is just eking out with the best form I can, with the biggest range of motion I can, which is not much at that point. Just a few more little partial reps, and the burn is significant. So that's all I got for this one, guys. Fat loss is continuing. We are pretty much on track. It's always nice when you make a program and you start carrying it out and it works. You're losing the weight. You're on track where you're supposed to be. So very happy about that. Very appreciative of my family and friends, everyone out there, you guys, for watching these videos and supporting me. If you enjoy what you're seeing here, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button if you thought this was a good video or you learned something. And feel free to comment if you have any tips for me or anything like that. And other than that, that's all I got. So I hope you guys have